Join us as we journey into the past. Who were the people? What were they like? How did they begin and how did they end? Let's find out on episode 16 of The Fan of History, the greatest party of all time. That's right. It is the episode that you've all been waiting for. Well, at least I hope you have. We're going to talk about the greatest party of all time. Ashurnasirpal II is throwing a party. Let's find out from Dan, my co-host, the Fan of History.
Party time!
Yes, it is party time. Excellent. Woo!
Party on, Brennan!
Party on, Dan.
Alright.
Yes. All right, man. So, we have this pleasant fellow known as the Lord of Massacres.
And we'll learn why in the next episode.
Next episode, but right now he's going to wine and dine us.
Yes. We are in the year 879 BC. And Ashurnasirpal II has completed his first campaigns. He has gained a lot of booty. And he has realized his father's dream of a new capital. So he's moving the capital north from Ashur along the Tigris to Calah, what is today Nimrud, and starts building. It's a 15-year building project, but Ashurnasirpal doesn't want to wait until the building project is finished, so he throws the party at the start of the project, and there's a reason for that. So we'll come back to that. There are sources telling us that the city was completed in 879, or that the party was in 864, but they are all wrong. The party is at the start of the building project.
Wow. How come they all, like, what tells us that all those other people were wrong and that it starts at the very beginning?
Because I say so. No, it might be that it is in 864, or that it can't be finished in 879 because he has only been king for 4 years. But
that makes sense.
No, I think that the sequence of events makes it actually quite impossible for the party to be in 864.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this is the party. Before we move to the actual feast, because this episode will only be 1 year, I wanted to introduce 2 city-states in Syria. They are sending guests to the party, so they are somewhat relevant for this episode, but I really wanted to introduce them somewhere, because they will be important for the rest of our story. The first is the kingdom of Carchemish. The kingdom of Carchemish is located west of Calah, at the sort of eastern northern edge of Syria. This is the most powerful of the Neo-Hittite city-states. Remember, they are living, pretending that the great Hittite empire still exists. We mentioned this place last time because Ashurnasirpal II visited it and saw these fantastic temples and art. There's especially a temple to the storm god Hadad. And what you must know about this place is that it is a rich place. It is well fortified. Ashurnasirpal II didn't take it. They just invited him in and paid their tribute last time because they could afford it. This will also be the place where the Assyrian Empire makes their very last stand in the 7th century. And that will destroy the ancient city of Carchemish. But this city has been around for the full time of the Hittite Empire. So it's very ancient. I also want to introduce the kingdom of Hamath. This is much closer to the coast. It's a kingdom of Arameans. that have been inspired by the Neo-Hittites, but they are ruled by Arameans. It's modern Hama, and it's the main power on the fertile plains of Syria. And right south to it is Aram Damascus. So this is the second most powerful Aramean kingdom. So Hamath and Carchemish, remember them. But now, back to the party.
Back to the party. All right, here's what we're going to do, folks. We're going to step on inside the party room. That's right, you'll hear can you hear the people in the background? That's the party. Yeah. Now we're going to talk about what's going on in the party while we're taking a trip back in time to the party. So why don't you walk us through, Dan?
First about the place. Calah, Nimrud, this is an old village, town that was founded by Ashurnasirpal I in the 13th century BC, but it has sort of fallen on hard times and it's very small. So the place is entirely changed by this building project. There are thousands of laborers that Ashurnasirpal II has captured in the wars. The city walls will enclose 360 hectares. They dig a canal from the greater Sab River, which is an enormous undertaking. There are orchards, and gardens. And from the very first day, from the day of the feast, basically, Ashurnasirpal II intends this to be the capital of the world. And this is a major break with tradition because Ashur has been the capital for over 1,000 years. But now that Ashurnasirpal II breaks tradition, other Assyrian kings will get the idea that they can also do it, and this capital will be moved again. The centerpiece of the city is Ashurnasirpal's palace. It's 290,000 square feet. 6 acres, pretty much. It has golden doors, limestone sculptures, and these Hittite-inspired sculptures. If you go to the British Museum, and we'll probably talk a lot about the British Museum when we talk about Ashurnasirpal II, because he'll be around for a couple of more episodes. He has a whole department in the British Museum. There is an Ashurnasirpal II display, a whole corridor with only things about Ashurnasirpal II. Because the British excavated Calah in the 1840s, and then they just took everything. They took all they could get. And today we should probably be grateful that the British were great thieves in the 19th century, because all of this stuff that's now in the British Museum would be vulnerable to Islamic State destruction today. So if you are in London, you must visit the British Museum and check out Ashurnasirpal II display. You will find more about why he's the Lord of Massacres than about this feast. So, the party itself then. There are 69,574 guests at the party.
Wow.
Yes, we have the exact figure of how many were there.
That's some great record keeping right there.
Yes. There seems to be a general invitation to all the powerful people in the world that Ashurnasirpal II knows about. So everybody's invited. There are Arameans, Hittites, the kings of Carchemish and Hamath, the kings of the Kanilgabat, and the kings of the mountains in the north and in the mountains of the east. The Babylonians are surely invited. There is a guy called Lubarna, the king of Patinu from Syria, that will appear in our story later. He was at the party. But there is a notable exception. Amebal A, lord of the Bitsamini tribe, he doesn't show up to the party. And And that angers Ashurnasirpal II, because if Ashurnasirpal II calls you to a party, you better come.
Right.
So he's not happy.
I can imagine not.
So we actually have the menu from the party. Oh, I forgot to mention there were, of course, Phoenicians and Phrygians. Yes, let's look at the menu.
Let's look at this menu. This menu is crazy. So we start off here. We have 1,000 fattened head of cattle. All right. Another
1,000 cows for beef.
We got 1,000 beef cows, 1,000 calves, I guess, for all the tender meat that you want in there.
Yes.
10,000 stable sheep. So 10,000 sheep, 15,000 lambs for all that leg of lamb. Another 200 head of cattle just to offer Ishtar.
Was a great party needs a sacrifice of 200 cows.
And not just that, another 1,000 sheep also offering for Ishtar.
It must have taken time to sacrifice 1,200 sheep.
Yeah, I can.
No, or
that's a If you would have to, it's an undertaking. It's for 1,000 sheep. I mean, that's amazing.
The priests of Ishtar must have been like, "Oh, we are going to the party. Oh no, we are on sacrifice duty for 10 days."
Exactly. Oh, here we go. A ritual again for the 1,000th time.
The party lasts 10 days. So, yeah.
Oh, okay. 1,000 spring lambs. I wonder what the difference. I mean, are we talking like really, really small lambs at this point?
I think so.
Yeah. 500 gazelles, 1,000 ducks, 500 geese, and also another 500 geese, the Kirku geese. Possibly cranes? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, they love eating birds.
Yeah, clearly. They have a thing for all kinds of birds. And, because then you have 1,000 Masuku birds, bird of prey, 1,000 caribou birds, possibly crows is what those were, 10,000 dove. And let me tell you, as someone who has field cleaned a dove for that tiny 2 ounces of breast meat, cleaning those is a pain in the butt. Cleaning 10,000 of them would make me cry. And we have another 10,000 turtle doves, another 10,000 small birds of some kind.
Mixed small birds.
Yeah. Just buckets of whatevers. 10,000 assorted fish.
I wonder if you get those out of the Tigris, or where they come from.
Right. I wonder if they're salted fish brought in.
Pretty far away from the sea.
Yeah, because that's the only way you're making it across that desert with fish is if they're super salted. I guess you could have them out of the river. You get the trout and whatnot, but that would decimate that river system.
That's why there is no fish in the Tigris today.
Yeah, there you go. They ate them all. 10,000 jerboa, and I was just talking to Dan about this a little while ago. Jerboa are those cute little mice with the giant ears and the huge back legs. You know, the little kangaroo rat looking things. They are adorable. But this...
And they don't have much meat on them.
No, I don't think that thing weighs an ounce by itself. How you're going to eat it, I don't know. So
I wonder if he just sat down and sort of thought about all the things he liked and just wrote big numbers.
Yeah, I want 10,000. Yeah. And then the act of gathering 10,000 jerboa. So just people out there with with sticks and sacks, just scavenging as many as they could.
Maybe they were ancient Jerboa farmers.
They're very tiny farmers, and they have free-range jerboa. Oh man! And they hop so adorably. Okay, so we have 10,000 eggs.
Of some kind.
Again, random eggs. You know what I bet, though? You know, they're trying to find 10,000 jerboa, and have these dudes out there going, listen, man, we've only got 5, maybe 6,000 jerboa. It's time we start gluing some leaves to the ears of some random rats. And just say, look at these fat jerboa we found. Because we are not going to hit 10,000.
The Jerboa scandal happened on day 3 of the part.
Great jerboas. This is not a jerboa. I am appalled.
Heads will roll.
Yeah. Oh, man. Okay.
Then we get to the real business.
Yeah, 10,000 jars of beer. Mm-hmm.
To go with those Jerboa.
Yeah. That's what you dip your jerboa in to make them edible. Now you have 100 containers of some sort of fine mixed beer. That's the malt liquor they're getting all juiced up on. 10,000 imported skins of wine. See, that's what they would do. You have these, because it's sheepskin that wine is held in, right? It's got to be. I think that's what it is, right? Because then you kind of...
I wonder where it's imported from.
I don't know.
Probably from Turkey, from the Nairi lands. They were renowned for their wine. Remember, there is no hard liquor at this time.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if the Assyrians drank their wine watered down or not. But I don't... This is one of the few mentions of alcohol. They were not heavy drinkers.
Right.
And now we need something nutritious.
Yes. So, to go with these thousands and thousands upon thousands of meat varieties, we have 1,000 wood crates of vegetables.
Just vegetables.
Yeah, just, they're just digging up whatever they could. Just say, just put some greens. Someone's mom made them at least order some vegetables. Then you have 300 containers of oil, hopefully, to fry those vegetables in. And then nice. you have 100 pistachio cones. What is a pistachio cone? Do you know?
I have no idea. Maybe it's the dessert.
It's ice cream. No, they did not have pistachio ice cream.
The strangest thing is that this menu survives.
Yeah,
because it's actually inscribed on a piece of stone that's 3,000 years old.
That's amazing. I mean, it was so important that they actually... here it is. Pistachio cones. This looks like a cone shape of a bunch of pistachios. But anyway, yeah, this was important. They're just random dates and victories and stuff. We get some of that, but the detail of this list is incredible.
Yeah, and remember, this is a 10-day party with almost 70,000 guests. So
that is true.
It's a pretty major event.
Yeah.
We know a bit about what happened during the party itself. There was a lot of ceremony, of course. And Ashurnasirpal II appointed governors for the newly conquered territories. Mm-hmm. He had an opening ceremony for the Calah Zoo. So there was a place filled with animals from all over the Assyrian world, because that's something that was important to the Mesopotamians. Mm-hmm. There are a lot of temples being inaugurated in the new city. The biggest one being the temple of Ninurta. Remember, Tukulti Ninurta II was Ashurnasirpal's father. Ninurta is the scribe of the gods. There were temples to Adad, the storm god, Calah, Sharatniki, Yasharu, Damkina, Calah, Kidmuru, Nabu, Decibiti, and Sin. And there was also an announcement that you are all to these dignitaries from foreign lands that had paid tribute. They were thanked for their loyalty, and they were also informed that the tributes were now increased because somebody had to pay for the party.
Right. It's a party. Oh, by the way, there's an entry fee. Yeah.
That was not the worst thing, though, because at the end of the party, an undisclosed number of people were not allowed to go home because the city needed population.
Right.
So they were forced to remain in Calah as Assyrian citizens then, filling up this city. So because the other Assyrians had their cities, so he didn't want to move them. So he recruited these guests, probably 10,000 or so.
Wow.
Into his new city. And those are the known events of the party itself. But we also, I also wanted to go into some details about the life of this great king and how he spent his free time. There were surely a hunt.
Yeah.
The Assyrians were obsessed with hunting, and especially the king. And hunting was a royal privilege, so there were animals that only the king were allowed to kill. So you think that these animals would be fairly safe then, because there's only one guy that can kill them. But he has help, and he loves hunting. So the Assyrian kings, probably from more ancient times than this, up till the very end, are obsessed with hunting and will depict themselves hunting almost as often as they depict themselves going to war or killing people. And we actually have a quote from a hunt that Ashurnasirpal II did. So do you want to read it in your best Ashurnasirpal voice? You need to practice for next episode.
Right. I will try. And this voice is not to be offensive to anyone. It is my generic, I am a great leader from a distant past voice. Let's see here. Ashurnasirpal II, what did he do? I killed 30 elephants with the bow. 257 powerful wild bulls I killed from my war chariots. I killed 370 strong lions just by spear, like birds in a cage.
So he walks around spearing 370 lions? We are talking about the Mesopotamian lion.
Yeah.
It's related to the Indian lions. It's a smaller lion. But the Mesopotamian lion is actually exterminated by the Assyrians.
They just hunted them all.
Yes, Ashurnasirpal II does a lot of damage to the population, but it's a later Assyrian king that actually exterminates the lions. They are really obsessed with lions. If you go to the British Museum, you will see these reliefs of lion hunts. And the lion is one of these animals that only the king can kill. You will also see that there is perhaps some boasting and overstating of facts in these reliefs, because we actually have an image of Ashurnasirpal II killing a lion.
Right. Isn't it standing up, like, right in front of him?
Yes.
Yes.
The lion is pretty much pouncing at him. And he only has a small sword. So what he does is that he takes the lion by the throat, stopping it mid-pounce,
Sure.
grabbing it, holding it up.
Seems
and then he
reasonable.
guts the lion.
Of course he did.
So that's how you hunt lions if you're a badass.
Heck yeah. You just hold that bad boy up, slice him right there.
I'll include a link in the show notes to a site. There's a website called Badass of the Week, and they actually did a feature on Ashurnasirpal II.
Nice.
And it's really fun to read. It's not entirely serious, but they are like looking at details like this and telling you about how much of a badass Ashurnasirpal II is.
Well,
it's a lot like an ancient comic book.
Well, he definitely did some crazy off the wheels kind of stuff. So,
but he also liked a good relaxation. So,
oh, nice.
There is another image where one of the Mesopotamian gods come down and give him a back rub. And there is a guy standing behind him. He's sitting on a throne, and there is this huge guy behind him with the head of a bird. Just giving him a back rub. So, you're doing well, Ashurnasirpal. Keep doing this.
It's his coach. He's in the back.
Yeah,
give him hell, Ashurnasirpal. Give him hell.
And we must remember then that we are just a few years into the Assyrian Empire, so everything is just getting started. But as I said before, there will never be a king quite like this guy, so he will be an inspiration for Assyrian kings. And when the party's over, when 10 days have passed, all these things have been consumed, people have been detained, temples have been started up. There is, of course, only one thing you do to end the great party. You go to war.
Of course. It's the best way to end any party.
Yeah, it's the Viking way as well. So we tend to do that here in Sweden. So remember that the Assyrians, they go on robber campaigns every year. It's like go somewhere, beat people up, take their stuff. So they are always looking for a reason to go somewhere. They need to go somewhere. So if you're on top of the list of people that piss the Assyrian king off, you will get the attention of the Assyrian army. And remember, Amebal A did not show up to the party. So he gets the attention of 50,000 war-crazy Assyrian soldiers in state-of-the-art equipment. The royal army leaves Calah, crosses the Tigris, goes to the interior of the Kabku, and look up the Bit Samini tribe. And it turns out that Amebal A actually looked forward to the party. He was like preparing for the party, choosing his clothes, and then he was murdered because of his loyalty to the Assyrians. So not only did they murdered his guest.
Well, that seems like a bad idea.
Yeah. And when this army shows up, the tribe sort of throws themselves on the ground and ask for forgiveness, says they're paying tribute. And they know that they need to do something special, so they include like every hot chick in the tribe in the tribute. And this actually does the trick. So Ashurnasirpal II, for once, does not massacre his enemies, but he accepts this tribute and lets the Bit Samini tribe live under a new leader that he appoints. And then he goes back to Calah. So those are the events of 879 BC.
Wow. That's incredible. That's a party.
And Ashurnasirpal II is only getting started too, just like the empire, because he has some more work to do. And in our next episode, we'll learn why he's called the Lord of Massacres.
Rawr. I bet he does things like kiss puppies and help old ladies across the street.
Something like that.
All right. I knew it. All right. Well, if you enjoyed our episodes, please consider the Patreon. Patreon.com/fanofhistory. Also, the YouTube site. It's YouTube/fanofhistory. Go there. You can see some, lots of good content. Please like and subscribe and share with your friends. Let them know if you like this. Also, give us a review on iTunes. We'll be out there on iTunes. And as always, we thank you for listening.
It's time for something, Brennan.
Oh, no. I thought I could do this quick enough.
It's time for Assyrian or Babylonian.
Oh, boy. Let me do some stretches. Do some deep knee bends.
Last time.
I did pretty good. But now I feel like I have something I have to live up to.
Yes.
So, dang it. All right.
Talk about gods.
Gods.
So it's always it'll be hard.
I'm sure it will be.
So here are 5 gods.
5 gods.
Are they Assyrian gods or Babylonian gods?
All right.
The first god is Marduk.
Marduk?
Marduk.
I've heard of this one.
Everybody's heard of Marduk.
Marduk is Babylonian.
Yes. It's the
Look at
king
me.
god of the Babylonians. He is the Zeus of the Babylonian gods.
Yeah.
So, here is the second god.
Let's do this.
Asaruludu.
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 I'm going to say Assyrian.
He is a Babylonian god.
Oh, man.
He's a protective deity, the shining god that illuminates our path, the light of the gods.
Huh.
Okay, so 1-1.
1-1.
We have come to god number 3. God number 3 is Ashur.
Asher?
Yeah?
Well, that's Assyrian.
Yes. Yeah, god of war.
God of War.
Himself.
If I got that one wrong, then I haven't been paying attention.
And notice that he didn't get a temple in Calah, and that's probably because it was too much of a sacrilege to build a new temple to Ashur, because the great temple to Ashur is in the city of Ashur, the old capital.
That makes sense.
He couldn't do that. God number 4 is Tiamat.
Oh, Tiamat.
Yeah.
Okay, that's Babylonian.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is the chaos of primordial creation, sort of evil, the Satan of Babylonian religion.
Right.
Also, the depiction of women. So she's the beauty of the feminine and sort of the evil of the world.
Huh.
The final god is Lahamu.
Lahamu. Lahamu. Can you use it in a sentence?
I sacrificed them all to Lahamu.
Lahamu. And I'm gonna go with Lahamu. I'm with Babylonian.
Yes.
She's
She's Babylonian. She's the daughter of Tiamat and always hangs out with her husband, who is also her brother. Lam.
Lamu. All right.
And they are the parents of the first gods. So, that's something to think about. The trick question here, of course, and you might have been confused, of course, with the building of all those temples in Calah.
Right.
Because we mentioned like 10 gods. None of those gods were Assyrian gods. Because the Assyrians have only one god, Ashur.
Right, Asher.
Their religion is the strangest version of monotheism I ever heard about. I still don't fully understand it. But Ashur is all gods. And I think this is also confusing to the Assyrians because they tend to worship other gods. And then they go like, but we are just worshipping Ashur, we promise. But there is a constant problem that they sort of think other religions are easier to understand than their own. So, yeah, that was the trick question this time. But you did well.
Yay. Was it 4 out of 5?
I think you're now 2-2 in your rounds of Assyrian and Babylonian. So maybe we'll have a final round next time.
Winner take all. Wait, it's just me competing.
So, that's all we have this time.
Well, that was fun. We need to have more parties. Me and you need to throw a party like this. Can you afford 10,000 cows?
Yeah, when we get, the big historical podcasts, they always do these travels, like Mike Duncan does the Roman tour and the Revolutions tour.
Right.
Get a lot of people and you go together to these places. So when we get big enough, we'll go to Nimrud and visit the Islamic State. And in the middle of the war, we'll throw this party.
Yes, that sounds like it won't attract any kind of negative attention.
No. It'll also be about $1 million per ticket.
Oh my god.
But we'll do it. Just keep contributing to the Patreon. Right. We'll work on this.
Yes, Dan will do that by himself. So help Dan travel.
I don't know if we will eat those jerboas. I'm not sure.
Jerboas. I want to go to the local zoo. I think they have some. And ask if I can eat them. See what kind of response I get. Oh, jerboas, the cutest of all vermin. All right. Well, thank you again for joining us. I am Brennan.
I'm Dan.
And this has been the Fan of Histories. I guess that's it. I kind of screwed up that ending. Oh. What did I do? I don't even know what I said there. This has been the Fan of Histories.
That works.
Okay, good. Goodbye.
If you enjoyed this podcast, please consider supporting us on Patreon. Patreon.com/fanofhistory. Just $1 an episode would help us out. Thanks, and see you next time.